video going here. Mute is off. Hang on, let me redirect this guy here.
I would have called the door, we didn't have a quorum, so we're kind of hanging. Now we have a quorum.
Oh, yay, all right, we can do it.
You were it if Lena didn't show up.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good control
yeah, thank you.
on the space station.
I got a basket full of goodies here to help me out here. Shall we begin?
Let's call this meeting to order at 6:04, sir.
Let's do it. And we have roll call.
All right, roll call. We have Brian Polsher, Jill Jones, Tatum Green, Counselor Paul Topland, Kyle Schwab.
Here.
Here, and myself. So the only person missing is Lena Wood. Woods?
So that's,
Woods, sorry.
Plural.
Okay. It's okay.
Cool, all right.
This is the only second meeting you've run, you're doing well.
you're doing great.
Thank you.
Chris, I was just filling in.
Oh, I
She-
see how you
She
are.
was buried here.
No, I just make,
And what was your name, Counselor?
Paul?
Paul, okay. I hadn't, you were in last meeting and I was in Hawaii, so that was the first meeting.
No, I missed the last one too. I was in Mexico.
Oh, either of you, okay.
Oh, yeah, I saw your last vacation. Okay, then get over it, because by the
That
time,
was so long ago.
Last meeting
Okay.
was your first one running it.
That was my first one running by myself, yeah. This is my third one, but Lance ran the first one, and the teacher kept me, you're supposed to be showing me this.
but he was kind of in a hurry in his uniform.
Well, he's got a good cheat sheet here for the most part, so I was trying to follow that, and so far.
You're
so
doing a good job, yeah.
Okay, citizens wishing to speak about non-agenda items.
Don't see anybody.
All right,
I love how you do that.
next then, chief's report.
All right, so for the month of November, we did 187 traffic stops. That's up from 84 the previous month.
Wow.
We ran 3 different traffic missions, mostly focused, I think entirely focused here on the village,
Oh.
surrounding stop sign enforcement. So there was a lot of traffic stops were conducted specific for that. So that's the reason for the increase on that.
That's good. Maybe they'll start using the stop signs.
So there were that many?
Yeah, and he was only here for 2 hours, and so a traffic stop usually takes, I mean, if you're writing a ticket, like about 10-ish minutes. And the deputy was here for 2 hours, and he was doing between 8 and 10 traffic stops. So it's literally like, do a traffic stop, go through your process, get back into your hiding spot, sit there, and then within minutes, there'd be another one.
It doesn't
Minutes,
surprise me.
like nonstop, all 3 times. He did get some nice feedback from local residents walking their dogs, running, thanking them for being out there and appreciating that kind of stuff. So that tells you that it's needed and that people are appreciative of it. So we also did, I guess I should probably save this for next month, but just because it was fresh, on Friday, we did basically a safety mission between Wood Village and Fairview. We did 23 traffic stops within the city limits of Fairview. There's 1 arrest was made, so trying to spend a little bit of time in here. You know, as weather gets bad, it gets dark, you know, kind of stuff, but there's less people out. So I think we're doing it right along this week.
Yep.
We should check the weather on that.
Okay.
If it's atmospheric river, we may want to,
yeah, we can schedule, that's fine, yeah,
hair gets
Postpone.
flat
Yeah.
in the rain, so,
that's fine.
but
Here it goes.
Yeah, we
tentatively.
can talk about that, yeah,
Yeah.
we can reschedule.
So that's a good thing.
That 2-hour mission he did, was that all in the same spot?
They were, yes, majority of them were. I think it was over there, the Park of Mama. Does that sound right? No, I don't.
I saw him because I live on Market.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember.
Market is the worst.
He fluctuates between
Down
2 spots. It's the same guy. He works his butt off. He's a hard worker. One of our traffic guru guys. Very professional. So I have no doubt that any community members and they're probably living in the village.
Yeah.
They're not passing through. You don't really pass through there. So
Oh, some people do.
some probably will, but I think for the
Yeah, the target group.
Counselor, I do have the locations of where he was at. I just don't have them with me because he did say, okay, he did send me those stats. So Other than that, we had 41 911 calls, priority ones and twos. I know if you guys remember last year or last month, I talked about October, there were 20 car accidents in the city of Fairview, 10 of which occurred around the Fairview Parkway, ID4, whether it's up above, down below, but within a football field of that area. This past month, there was 3 of 11 were, so it's down a little bit more. But again, something that I'm kind of wanting to kind of keep an eye on. There were 2 others that were nearby, but that's definitely the popular place for traffic accidents, but it's also probably one of the more traffic-heavy locations, be my assumption.
Is it the people who are getting off eastbound, maybe hanging a ride?
So I don't have that, I don't have the ability. It just says like Fairview Parkway and ID4. And so it could be on ID4 under Fairview Parkway, it just depends on how it's coded. There's been Fairview Parkway south of Sandy, how far south of Sandy. And that's usually just guidelines that are given us. So we show up, we get into the area and we kind of follow that, and that kind of gives us an idea of where to go to. But it wouldn't say northbound unless the call came out. It's northbound Fairview Parkway kind of stuff. We don't have that information.
Okay.
That's county road, right?
Yes.
One, I'm sorry.
That way.
It would be, yeah,
Yeah, it's, Fairview Parkway is definitely county.
yeah.
That's why it looks so awful. And I don't mean that meanly. What I mean is they're responsible for taking care of that whole median in the middle.
Yeah.
And we've been working on that. They've been working on it years. I'm working on it now personally too, and it's not being taken care of, so
Yeah.
that's, yeah,
Sidewalks.
yeah.
Well, if it's one of those high traffic crash spots, I mean, how much data does the county need to ask them, like, hey, people are getting hurt around here, can you guys put some safety?
Yeah, and I don't know, and that's kind of something that I think my 2 cents are, is like us as a public safety advisory committee, that's something that we should keep an eye on. And, as we get a little more data, only been here for 2 months, so it's something that we should keep an eye on, and that if it does kind of show a pattern, or that it's consistently, it's gonna be heavier anyways, because that's where not all, but that's where a large amount of traffic comes through, so it's gonna be heavier. But should there be, maybe some repaving, should the yields, right-of-ways be changed? Should there be something changed to help make it safer?
Like the people that just race up and try to make a right turn regardless of the signal at the top of the bridge.
Yeah.
I see that all the time.
Yeah. I wasn't speaking negative of the county. I'm just saying the county's responsible for that. It's
Right.
being taken care of. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Fine.
But no, I don't have any, oh, that's here, perfect.
All right. Hey there. Hello, Linda.
Sorry I'm late. It's in a meeting I couldn't leave.
We just barely started.
It's true.
So other than that, I don't have anything else of significance to report back on.
Do you have an extra agenda?
We can share. That's kind of you. Thank you.
Chief, can we just recap on how many tickets? Or at least, I should say traffic stops on the stop signs.
Yeah,
There.
yeah,
Fine.
Lena, we had 187 traffic stops in Fairview for the month of November, which is up from 84. We did have 3 2-hour missions, so 6 hours total, focused on basically stop sign adherence within the village area. So that's the reason for the significant increase. It's not the sole reason, but it's a significant increase. We should expect to see the same for December, because we did a mission.
in the village?
Yeah, we just focused on the
Wow.
village.
Right?
So they were pumping them out. They also, we'll see that for December as well. We did a safety mission on Friday in Inwood Village in Fairview, and we did 23 traffic stops. So, and 1 arrest was made. So it's needed. It's the business is there, for lack of better words. So, but it's business that we don't want. Like, this is the one business that we don't want business. Yeah.
Right, for sure.
So, and maybe the DA's office probably doesn't want any business like that.
And dad of small children in the area as well.
Who doesn't want to, yeah. No, anybody that has
Yeah.
small kids doesn't want that stuff, but dealing with it. Yeah.
Would you happen to know if there's been any additional calls or activity around homeless or transient individuals in the area?
Yeah, so we had a fire last week on the,
Over by the school?
Yeah. And then there was a camp back there that our Hope team was working on, and when they went out there, Sergeant Kirkman had said that the individual was gone. And I believe rapid response may have came out. I don't know the outcome of that, but I do know that it was addressed. Because we have to post the camp a certain number of days before we can have it cleared. And that was done. I haven't heard anything other than there's a homeless gentleman has been sleeping under one of the covered areas recently, it sounds like. There was a call this morning that I'm going to assume, which I don't want to assume, but I'm going to assume it's the same person because it was in the same vicinity of where the complaints that came out.
yeah.
Was that the same person? Okay.
I believe so.
So the call came out for patrol at, I want to say it was like at 9 o'clock, 9:50 or something like that. And we were on scene within 4 minutes and the gentleman was already gone. So yes, to answer your question, there has been one or two stragglers within this area. So,
I think it's something that we talked about a few months back, but after the state went over and broke up the Sandy River Delta, we talked about what would the trickle impact be for folks, Chateauwood Village and Fairview, folks are just gonna.
yep, and that's an obvious concern. It's a legit concern. I did talk with our HOOP team about that specifically, and from what they had told is they're moving west, they're along the train tracks, and they aren't all the way out this way yet, but they are, a lot of them are congregating along the train tracks from what I'm told.
Yeah, there's been some big cleanup efforts along train traffic.
Yeah. So
And that's private property, so that's a different scenario.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Well, and that was the issue with the school district is when I was in contact with them, they were saying, well, we have to do certain things. And then,
Yep.
of course, you guys you got to work with the school district, but they don't seem to know what, at least the staff over there was telling us that they're not sure what needs to be done and who needs to be contacted. And do they deal with it at the schools? Does the Reynolds facilities folks deal with it? And,
Yeah.
there was just a lot of, I don't know. Meanwhile, somebody was starting a fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's on Reynolds property, it's Reynolds, right? Somebody within Reynolds needs to report that. And that's what allows us to go in and post the camp and then wait our required number of times. So, and from what I understand, that Sergeant Griffin knows, I mean, he's been doing this for a while, luckily, so he's very well versed. And I believe he contacted somebody at Reynolds. They were able to get everything worked out, got the camp posted, and we were able to take care of it. But we can't be everywhere, so we need those eyes from the public to call them in and say, hey, this is what we got, this is where it's at, which helps out a lot. So I don't know if that fire, Nathan, if you know the fire, was that associated with that specific camp, or is this a different type of
I
situation?
don't know.
I think, I don't know if it was with that specific person, but it was, as you're heading out to Gleason on Market, you took a right. It was right there. I mean, just a bunch of smoke coming out of the wooded area. Very close to those homes that like back right up to the wooded space.
Yeah.
It seemed to be in a different spot than the bigger camp that had,
Okay.
it was right next to Woodland. But, it was big enough that one of the teachers went down to go take a look, and I think one of the teachers called the fire department.
Okay.
Big.
Yeah, may I just say something about it?
Of course.
I think it's probably appropriate for this board, being a PSAC board. Homelessness is something the city is not, none of the three cities have really been obeying the law. State law requires we have a place, we have a time, place, and manner. We have a lot of places that allow them the rest, and we really haven't had that. So what we've been relying on right now is the HOPE team to go out and help them get legal resources. And so far, they've been able to get everybody resources. But if there became a time where we actually would have to put in place a place to allow people. We don't have to allow them to camp. We have to allow them the rest, at least within guidelines, at least one place, if not more. To do the same thing and tell them I got to put that in place with state law. If we don't follow it, we could be sued for it, just like Grants Pass was sued. Slightly different instance, but, so anyway, my point is that right now we are doing what we're doing, but there may come a future when we need to look at more things, and it's a difficult situation for everybody involved, whether you're homeless or experience homelessness or you're not. I mean, it's a difficult situation, but there's actually a lot more to it than, it's difficult. I just met with some business owners today who are frustrated about this very same gentleman, and it's just a lot going on. But things that we have to do is going to take more resources.
Is there any way that the three cities can work together on this?
We actually are working together. We actually have, there's a grant through Hamilton County, I don't know where that came from, wow.
What's okay?
That was in Multnomah County, and gosh,
That's okay.
I had a lot of counties, a lot of cities in my head, a lot of years. Multnomah County, they got a grant, and we're working with their homeless, they call it the Homeless Services Department now, is what the name of it is. And so we're working with them, and they're the ones that were instrumental in working and to have the, what they call the 1,000 acres to be cleaned up and worked on. So we're working with them, and they were using Salvation Army, now they have a different vendor that goes out, works with people, and they're trying to work on relocating them, trying to help people get the resources they need. But I don't have other than the HOPE team, the sheriff's office, and our code enforcement, we don't really have like a boots on the ground person. I don't have
Right.
almost coordinator or anything that can go out and work. We used our code enforcement officer until then, that's what we used there. But it's a little bit different here, so.
Yeah, and, Nathan, I appreciate you saying that, because there is a lot to it, a lot behind the scenes that, the public isn't aware of, and talking with probably angry business owners that they just want the individual gone, is like, I get that, but there are laws that we have to follow, right? And it's very difficult, because how do you educate the public on that? It's not their fault that they don't know, it's like, there's the problem, they want it taken care of. It's complicated.
It is.
So.
Maybe we need to do an education on it a little bit.
I was just about to ask, I mean, what do, from the citizenry perspective, what's best for them to know? Or what resources are best for them to, like, passing out more information about the HOPE team and what it does? I know the email is available, but I mean,
Yeah.
how many emails do you really want to see, right?
Well, I mean, that's the HOPE team, that's how they get it. I mean, they have the hope at mcso.us for that reason. So anybody can email that out. Now, do they know that email address? Maybe that's something that we could put in, what is it, a monthly newsletter or something? Quarterly newsletter for the city that goes out. Does that go out to all residents?
It goes to
The
every
address?
direct mail, yeah, whatever it is, ED, every direct,
Not PO boxes.
every door directed.
Did we have a deadline? Tin, do we have a?
Yeah, the January one's already, the January, February, March one's already done.
Okay, I couldn't
So we
remember, I
can't get
know
it,
you
we can't
talked
get it in
about
time
it
for that one, but we could get it in time for the next.
second quarter.
Yeah.
And there is a pattern of homelessness, like in the wintertime, usually the numbers kind of move further west. As the resources are more available, kind of closer out, and as the weather gets warmer, they move further east, and it's just kind of like a consistent pattern. So maybe in the spring, you said if we're already through the next few months, maybe that would be a good time that, I could have Sergeant Kirkman write up something from the HOPE team, just a very general, these are what we're bound to. The laws require us to do this. We can't just go and move the person without this, or yada, yada, yada. And
That's
then we
actually,
can add the HOPE team email address to that.
yeah, that'd be great.
Give them notice, there's
Yeah.
all kinds of things.
It's much easier for us as well. The sooner that we know about it, the sooner that the HOPE team can go out and make contact. Because a lot of times it is a case-by-case situation. They try to be kind of trauma-informed, and that every single individual houseless person has their own story. So they try to be sensitive to each of their stories. And some have different backgrounds, and some are willing to trust and listen, and some it takes a lot of repeated positive interactions before you can make any progress, and that
We
takes
had one.
time.
Yeah, we had one of those already.
Public doesn't want that time, right? They just want the person gone now. It's like, and it takes time, stuff like that. So we want people to report these as we know them, because then the HOPE team can go out, offer resources before they get embedded, and try to maybe get them somewhere that's more resourceful. So,
Nice to have maybe a tab on the website or something that can explain laws and regulations around that, in addition to have contact information.
It's a good idea. One of the, if I may, Chief, website, hold on a second. So we may have some things off the check, but we're gonna refresh our website too. We have a lot of things to do. One of the things that's important to know, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, but the HOPE team doesn't just go out, they don't go out and move people. They go out and they give people resources and try to encourage them to move, because they actually, unless we have now at the city, if we're able to establish an area or areas where they can rest, and we give them regulations and say, okay, you can rest between, 7 PM and 7 AM, and we have these, and then we can, now if we do that, then we can go out and say, you need to move now, because we have a place for them. Right now, we don't have a place, so if they don't want to move, we have to give them 72 hours advance notice. We can't just go out and start moving people off the sidewalks. I mean, there's so many laws, and the thing is that I know it's difficult from I used to work for Multnomah County, I drive downtown and park, and it's like, gosh, it's difficult, But if we start moving people, we're going to get sued. It's just simple as that. There are organizations out there. There's two organizations that sued FEMA. And that's why we're having all these issues because of two organizations that sued FEMA. So FEMA came back with these. It doesn't affect us as much, but Tillamook, a horrible situation with what they're doing with all the land. But it's all because people sued. Just being honest.
Yeah.
But, and so those are the types of things we have to look at. I mean, it's not something I've really dug into because I have a lot of fires right now. We're deep in the trenches and we're trying to get everything else taken care of.
Yeah.
My limited experience dealing with the Hope team has been very positive.
Good.
Oh, good.
They
Yeah.
do a very nice job, from what I've observed, of handling different people in different ways. And if they look like, I guess look like is probably the wrong way of putting it, but if they act inappropriately, they are very good at directing them in the right direction. Those people are pretty special. I wouldn't have their job for any amount,
Yeah.
but they are very.
It's rough. It's one of those that takes a special
It's a
person.
very special person.
For sure, one of those positions where you have to have somebody that wants to do the job, because if you force someone to go do that job, you're not going to get a good product. But these individuals that they choose, it's a interviewed position. Like when a vacancy opens up in the home team, people put in for it because they want to be on that team. So there is a desire to help, that service first kind of mentality. And it also helps that they're experienced, because you're not really being a police officer. You're kind of talking to the individual
Well, I think the thing that's really interesting to watch them is they start off in a very friendly, can I help you type of manner. And if they're not met with that same, they can ramp up as necessary and they can ramp down.
Sure.
It's quite impressive.
It's all about relationship building. If they don't trust you, you're not gonna get very far. So, but that's great feedback. I'll actually, if you're okay with that, I'll share that with them, just that, you got some really positive feedback.
Be happy.
Yes, it's nice to hear positive things. So
Do they have set hours and days?
they do, they're Monday through Thursday. I think they're 7 to 5, I think. So we're actually down a spot on it because we don't have bodies. So we're supposed to have 2 deputies and a sergeant, but we only have 1 deputy and a sergeant, so we're short-staffed. So, right now they're on vacation till the 22nd, or something like that, so.
It's not permanently, it's just on vacation.
Yeah,
We have 3 people, not like we don't have a slot that's empty, we just have someone out.
no, we have a slot that's.
We have a slot that's empty.
Yeah, we have a deputy that's been selected, we just don't have enough bodies for patrol. So it's one of those auxiliary units where like, okay, we can do at least one, because the sergeant's there, the sergeant's a working sergeant, so. Because it's a 2-person team, you don't want to be going out in 1,000 acres by yourself, kind of stuff, so.
Not good, yeah.
Not to our city manager getting assaulted.
Yeah, but in the perfect world, we'd have 2 deputies doing it and let the sergeant supervise and do his thing, but yeah, we have a vacancy.
Right?
Ray did. The guy attacked Ray. Ray was running, the guy started running next to him, just attacked him, just out of the blue, just attacked him, and
Jeez.
Ray managed to fight him off and take a picture of him. Did they ever catch him?
I don't think so. They had a great picture of him.
And this guy like is 3 times the size of Ray. And Ray put up a good fight. And Ray's 65, 66.
In good shape, though.
He's in good shape. This is the guy, if you ever see him, this is the guy that attacked Ray. Look what Ray did to him. See this guy, with the sheriff's office
Where
now.
was that at?
That's Anchors.
That was like this past summer, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
There was a noticeable difference in our call load prior to them in that area, prior to the cleanup and after.
As in more calls now or less calls?
Less.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, I don't think I've taken a call there in forever.
Oh, it has, great stuff.
It was an experience walking through there, seeing what was in, so.
Well, you mentioned the trend earlier. I mean, that's part of the reason why I brought it up today is that some of the parents at Woodland and neighbors around here have noticed, because we've seen, just anecdotally seen the same trend.
Yeah.
In the summertime, there's a lot more activity. During these times, barely anything. And so it was unusual noticing all the activity. It was summer level activity in November and December. It was, okay, this is
Yeah.
new.
And I don't know if anyone's reoccupied 1,000 acres. Have you guys had Tatum calls a whole lot? So, I don't know if they're like, we're out, we're staying out. I mean, in due time, they will eventually, I'm sure, repopulate unless there's some constant enforcement to keep that from
Where's
happening.
1,000 acres, help me out.
Sandy River Delta, right across the bridge, kind of diagonal from,
Off of like Jordan Road.
yeah,
At 18.
kind of across diagonal from the outlets, the Trout outlets across the river.
Oh, okay,
In
okay,
the
On
woods.
the north side of 205, yeah, in the woods.
okay, all right. I
So-
was never in that area, so, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, where's 1,000 acres?
Yeah, I actually have a extended family member who's homeless, lives in Troutdale. Not 1,000 acres, but it's just a really difficult situation when you have a state that only has one mental hospital,
Yeah.
one mental health hospital, and 12 prisons, something like that. It's just,
DOCs, but yeah.
it's just a very difficult situation. There's just not the resources there.
Yeah, for sure.
As with most things.
Isn't Oregon like the lowest in mental health litigation?
From what I understand, but I've never checked the research on it.
It's like 48 or 50. It's pretty bad. Yeah. Well, maybe we can go into something happier.
It's pretty sad.
Okay, so for thank you for the report. Old business, discuss PSAC vacancies and applications.
So you've reapplied.
I did.
Lena reapplied. What about you, Brian?
I don't want to commit to a whole term, and I'll keep, not that you need me that badly, but I think somebody with, renewed passion might do better. I still want to do 2-year term, but, I'm glad to stick around and keep the quorum. As of today.
And I'm on the end of my year one on my second term, or
You
my
got one-
third or my fifth term or whatever, kind of like Lena.
But you got one more year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And when I last talked to Devery, there were people that were interested in applying, because then we will have, in theory, we'll have Brian's spot, and then we'll also have Tiffany's spot. So we
Tiffany's,
should have 2 openings.
Okay.
Or 3, right? Because there was Kevin.
Kevin, actually, yeah.
Okay.
Because we lost Kevin. And then.
Is it an 8-person? Are we an 8-person committee?
I
Can't remember.
think it was 7.
7, that makes sense because,
7 and
right,
Yes.
so that's,
So 3 openings then.
I want you to know, I met with Kevin and followed up with him on that meeting. We had good discussions.
just felt like he was really helpful, but I guess more of his focus was finances and stuff, so.
Yeah, he has, I was able to answer a lot of his questions and try.
Good,
So he was a great resource for getting things done.
Yeah.
And he would, he would volunteer for a lot of stuff. He would show up and he participated.
for sure.
He just finished out his term, or?
He resigned.
No, he resigned,
Just had a difficult meeting and he resigned.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why I met with him and watched the video. I wasn't here, I watched the video and I followed up with him.
And I appreciate that because I know that Counselor Weber followed up with him too. I don't know how that conversation went, but
Yeah, well,
Now,
the council worked.
does the city council appoint the next 3 on Wednesday?
I believe it's on the agenda, I think it is.
So, okay.
So we have 3 vacancies, but we don't know how many applications we have.
I don't know.
I don't know.
so can I ask a question and Counselor Paul may be able to answer this? The one thing I am noticing is we as a group don't have any input as to the candidates. And I'm kind of wondering about that. Isn't that something maybe we could get on because we know what we are as a team and we I'm just asking because that's the one thing I've kind of had a little heartburn with. Just a little, I mean, just kind of curious.
Good question for our council.
Thank you.
I have some ideas, but
Okay,
I'll let him go first.
Well, I don't know what the restrictions are, the guidelines around that.
Right.
I would welcome any input if that's, within the rules of the process. I know that's why we put it off last meeting until this meeting because Counselor Weber wasn't there last meeting, and we did want her input since she's been in this group for a while now. But as far as getting input from the committee, do you know? how that works?
Well, so the way it works currently, and you're correct, so what happened, the council is the one that makes the appointments. I mean, ultimately, the mayor, the council make the appointments, and so you, and as you said, thank you, the council did hold off because Councilor Ward wasn't there, and she's been the one involved with you for a long time. So, I mean, as far as actually having your input, I mean, it's gonna be, you can, the whole point of having liaison is you talk to him, and he or she, whomever brings that information to the council, so you could literally have on your agenda, you could talk about some ideas or things you're looking in. And something, if you wanted to, you could take it back to council, say, hey, just so you know, PSAC is interested in being a part of the process if the council so feels. I mean, the council has the right to appoint whomever, but I think that it would be appropriate, you know, for Councilor Copeland to say, hey, council, this is some thoughts we had at PSAC, and what are your thoughts? And maybe they would want to have you more involved, maybe they say, hey, well, at least have a process where you're talking to your liaison, so you can break, because that's the idea, bring it back, so.
Because I feel like we've always just been
Yeah,
back in the back, and it's like, I understand why the council makes the decisions, but I also feel like input from us is helpful.
it's something you can always do, any one you can do on every single bill. It's something I asked the mayor to change, I got here a little bit different, but on the beginning of the agenda, the council, every single one has a request for citizens to speak on anything on the agenda. And so the council does the work session, and then they do the appointments. You can always get up and speak. We don't have a lot of people attend. It's the first city I ever worked in, doesn't have a lot of people attend. I'm not heartbroken.
Just sometimes they can get a little weird, I'm sure.
I've been doing this for over 20 years, believe me, I've seen a lot of things.
I'm sure.
A lot of things. And this is a great place here, let me tell you. It's
In comparison.
in comparison to the
Sure.
place I work. But you can always get up and speak. I mean,
Okay.
we have a particular person who happens to live in Fairview, and he gets up a lot of times and makes comments on different things, on budget and this and that. And you have the opportunity at the beginning of the meeting to speak on anything that's on the agenda. At the end of the meeting, you have the opportunity to speak on anything that's not on the agenda. And that's a right of all citizens. That's a right that the council has given to the public, and that's a right. And so you could always come, if you got someone's going to be on the agenda and you want to support, I'm speaking on the council, but I think they would love to hear from you. I mean,
Okay.
Love the feedback, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Essentially, all we have to go off of is those applications. We can see the basic information that they fill in, but outside of that, to her question about them seeing the applications, is that?
No, I don't even think that's it. I don't want to, I just want to, I know we don't make the decision, but it'd be nice if we had some kind of input or looked at basics, not the application, but maybe the,
That's what you're looking for?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Is the agenda real quick?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
Sounds
not,
like we can do
Council.
that, we can say like, we're looking for someone who has like a lot of availability, someone who's like works in the area, I don't know.
or at least as a committee, you know, letting our council liaison know, like, this is what we would like to see. I guess
They actually have the.
I would assume that in previous years or historically, we don't really get options.
no, and that,
That's
what
no,
I-
we don't, and that's why I'm asking.
I don't think the charter
This should-
actually
it's listed.
anticipates that that's
There's the names,
work, but I
and
do
is they
think
actually,
they would take it back to the council.
type of,
If, for example,
like an
they said,
application.
well,
Yeah, it is
it would
on
be helpful if we,
It's on there.
you know, if you have a lot of applications,
Oh,
which is
that's-
fairly rare, but it's
Okay, okay.
that you
Yeah,
make
that-
sure
that's-
that
maybe
you
that-
have kind of
Can always-
geographical diversity here, where not everybody is in the village, where people come from different backgrounds in terms of work. Not everybody's a social worker or a police officer. or
Right.
Okay,
Then
yeah.
you mix the committee around. And then, in my opinion, the single most
That'd be handy.
important thing is somebody who will commit to actually do the work.
Right.
And you could actually be from any background, if you would just commit to be there when you say you're going to be.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, thank you. And so I wanted to share with you on the website, when we have appointments coming up, it has all the applications on there.
Oh, okay.
You can go to our link. If you go to our website and then you go to city council and you go to the full agenda, you can do a recent agenda. And then you scroll down the agenda, click on the spot, and it has, now some of the information is redacted, we'd redact
Sure.
the whole street address, but it has city and it has their education, and what they said, everything that's on the application except for the personal information, I mean, real personal, like identity personal,
Sure.
it's redacted. The rest is on there, like right here.
So does it say how many we have?
Yeah, so how many do we have?
Yeah.
I think there was,
So
I think there was 5 on here.
That's pretty good.
5 for PSAC?
That's
Well-
pretty good.
Well, it
No, there's
shows-
5.
Can I look over?
Yeah,
That shows the people on there.
yeah, it shows those of you that are
Oh,
gonna,
yeah, Lena and Kyle are both on
yeah.
here.
And then you scroll down, that shows you, see like, this person, there's a person here,
I think
can't read the
first
name.
of all, last week, but that
Rena,
guy.
Rena.
Karina McGuire.
Coming to
Oh,
the
she might be the
meetings
one
applied, I
from-
believe.
The one guy that's
Can't
been
remember
here a
his
couple,
name.
3
Yeah.
times.
Down there, she might be
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you can go to our website and you can actually look, it's for Wednesday night, which is nights from now, and you can go through and see everything on it. It has like,
Oh, yeah.
it has don't want to read that too well, but,
Yeah, so she was in the community engagement committee with me.
So
so,
how does the board make their decision? Just look on what the application is and say, oh, I like her, or I like him?
well, they usually do interviews.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think only one of the committees does interviews.
Oh, maybe it's
I
just
believe
the
it's
planning
the
commission.
budget committee, maybe? From,
Well-
I applied
wasn't-
last year,
I
so it's
wasn't-
fresh in my mind.
I wasn't interviewed ever.
Planning commission does interviews, and probably maybe the budget
I
committee.
was gonna say, the planning commission makes sense. My husband did that for 13 years,
But
so,
nevertheless, they do have, this is posted online.
okay.
It could be something you can ask of us, like, hey, when these are coming up, let us know, because Debbie's gonna post them. I mean, we could have her send them out to you too, as long as it's redacted.
Sure.
And you could look at the candidates and talk about them. I just, and you can get up. I don't think we want to get in a situation where you're like recommending one person.
No, no, no.
As a committee, but as an individual, you can absolutely get up and speak.
Okay.
You have every right to do that. And if you want to go to, when you get home tonight or whenever, a little reading material, just go to our website and pull it up, and you'll see all the applications there.
I am not gonna be here Wednesday night, but okay.
We don't have to be, but
I know, I'm gonna be, yeah.
at least for the future.
Yeah, no, that's something, that's helpful with why I asked, so,
That's perfect.
thank you.
Do we, as a committee, have any concerns having, I guess, including or 5 vacancies on that cycle and then only 2 on the other cycle? I mean, so in a year from now, we only got to replace 2 people,
Right.
but in 2 years from now, we got to replace 5.
Probably got off at some point.
I would imagine Tiffany's
Well,
probably one.
Tiffany's probably one, she was just,
Kevin.
Kevin was, I don't know what year he was in, because he re-upped already.
These are 3
I think he was
3 years,
less
right?
than I was, so I think he was just shy of 2 years.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
he'd been here before, but
He's been so many.
But Tiffany, and then when Jenny left, stepped down,
Oh, that's right.
when Jen left,
Oh, yeah.
she resigned.
So many people have left since I took over.
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say,
saying-
I was
Not
the
you.
bad- I was the bad one.
It's honestly not you. We know why Jenny left. and That's okay. She was moving and it was fine.
All I know is I show up to one meeting, next thing I know, the chair resigned.
Yeah.
Well, it was a long story and.
Should have knew the meeting before that.
So are we gonna hear via email what the results are, who we're getting? Or just at the next meeting, or how's that work out time-wise?
So what happens is the council will either appoint or not appoint. And then, they'll announce it that night, and then I think Deborah puts it on the website within a short amount of time. It'll be a little different because we're kind of,
Is that how it's done now, is posting on the website?
well, it is eventually posted on the website. Like, the committee members should be on there. Or not, but.
One suggestion that I have, just so there are no surprises, and this played into some of the drama here. If somebody is not, who is on the committee, and they're no longer going to be on the committee, council decides they'll replace them, I really think they should be told before the meeting, and not come to the meeting, volunteer for things, and think they're still on the committee when they're not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had a situation and it should not have been handled that way. That was not cool.
And just in the future, it would be a good idea not to do that.
There was a lack of
That
communication
started
that,
a lot of the fireworks.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that. One thing I can say is a little, I mean, if there was like unprofessional behavior, then I certainly am completely opposed to that.
I don't think it was
But-
unprofessional.
Just lack of
It was
communication.
simply that it just was an oversight.
Nobody
And then
wanted to
she
make,
found out about it afterwards, and it was very uncomfortable.
nobody made a
Committee
phone
member
call,
showed up thinking that she was still on the committee, but she wasn't on the committee anymore, and nobody had told her.
and nobody had told her, and so she showed up, and
That's,
nobody wanted, I mean, it was hard, because we're like,
is this
nobody, yeah, like,
Well, I didn't even know she wasn't on the committee.
I didn't either
was,
till
months ago.
Well, January, it would have been the January of this year,
January or February. One of the-
January 25.
To this committee or different committee?
No, to this committee.
Okay, that's like right when I started.
Yeah, it was just a little more than oversight, in my opinion, but I'll leave that alone. Just communication wasn't made that should have been made. And it was very rough on all of us, because when we were told at the meeting before she walked in, we're like,
Oh, I didn't know before she walked in. I didn't know till the meeting.
yeah, it was just,
So
anyway.
is this a case where a new member had been voted into the committee to replace that individual?
Mhm.
And nobody told them.
And nobody told that individual.
Well, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of that. I will say a couple things. Number one is that absolutely that shouldn't have happened. I don't know what happened, but we'll work on that. But I wanted to say, the one thing is that if someone is, the thing is about councils, and even you as you are a public body as well, it's a little different, but elected officials cannot be making decisions outside of a council room. And you have to do it in public. So it's not like someone could have said, hey, if someone had contacted you and said, council's not going to probably appoint you, that would have been illegal. First of all, because that meant the council must have had some kind of decision. Now, one counselor called and says, I'm not going to vote for you. That's on that counselor, but, so we can't, I mean, they can't really make a
Right.
decision beforehand, but what can happen is that they make a decision afterwards, it can be properly, followed up with that.
And it
person.
wasn't.
Yeah, that's what.
And I won't go into a whole,
No.
we could have a conversation for hours, but I'm working on putting a lot of structure in place where we are following up on things, not just these types of things. In the past, these types of things just sort of like, I don't know what happened, they just sort of,
Got lost in the ether. or whatever.
yeah, got lost or didn't, I don't know, doesn't matter, but
No, it doesn't matter. It just,
it does matter for now, though. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And so-
I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you.
Because that was really uncomfortable. It's just kind of,
Yeah, thank you.
For the sake of learning, is that my responsibility to notify that person?
No.
Or,
No, that would be the city.
okay, so is that what every?
Yeah, it would be Devery. and-
Okay, so
Devery and.
we did that with this last incident.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And there's a lot behind the scene. You have to understand, there's a lot of things that were, Devery had like, she was literally working like 4 departments. It was
Oh, I know.
Unbelievable.
when she retires, you guys, yeah,
Monument,
Every-
statue.
They just kept giving her more stuff. And I'm just like, she was doing the total recreation part. I mean, it's a whole different story, but
right.
that's why I reorganized and started putting duties with people, not just certain people.
Now that we're having this conversation,
I don't think
I
this
think she
is
might have
actually
been
all-
notified. No, I think
No,
she sent,
She was listed as a citizen when I was at, if we're talking about who I'm talking about during our meeting.
yeah, I think that it was, I think that a communication did go out, but it wasn't received by the original committee member. It was missed,
Okay,
which is maybe why you didn't hear about it.
if I
We'd
do.
have to ask the people.
Yeah, I just,
This is all hearsay for me.
Right.
It's one of those things where it doesn't matter now how it happened. Just need to have some kind of process in place so it doesn't happen.
it's a clarification because it was an absolute,
Yeah.
it was really sad, too. Okay,
We keep ending items on sad notes. Okay, so we have 3 vacancies and enough people to fill them from the sounds of it.
It was 5, not including you two, is that correct?
Well, we've got current, if, according to the website, we have 2 open positions, unfilled positions. And then 3 of you, your term is ending.
there's 1, 2,
Yeah, which would be the third opening, would be the 2 vacancies and Brian's.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're Brian?
Yeah, that's made it.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Yeah, so 5 total. 2 of which sounds like are gonna be refilled.
Do you automatically get them? Can like, once you're in, as long as you want to stay? Or how's that? Like,
I don't
does
know.
does the council still have to select those
You
two?
have to reply.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
But it's not necessarily a shoe-in, as we've seen some earlier.
Yeah.
right.
Make sure you take all your stuff home tonight.
I know, I'm gonna take this.
But he's our chair.
and I believe
That was a
within
lifetime
do pull up the agenda on the website where it lists the applications. I think it includes the 2 of you that are
Re-upping,
be reappointed, yeah.
okay. Don't go far, you're not done.
Calendar in the corner.
Yeah, I live right around the corner.
Okay, so anything else on vacancies and applications?
No, I learned a lot, thank you very much.
Productive conversations are always kind. Public safety tip submissions. So we sort of talked about that already.
Yes, at the last meeting a little bit. I got those submitted a few weeks ago to Devry, just kind of, so they should be in the January release of the quarterly now. Just kind of going over smoke and CO detectors, winter driving, and not warming up your car, leaving your keys in it.
Yeah, oh, that too, don't do
Not
that.
warm up your car, but don't leave your keys in it.
Yeah, we're keeping your garage.
Yeah,
Yeah, or keep it in your garage.
we had a neighbor that did that last year. Everyone's fine, but, you know, it was a,
Close call?
what did you do? So when's the next deadline for February,
I don't
probably?
know.
It's gonna be right around March 8th
For the deadline to get stuff to Devry for?
April, May, June,
for the, so it's every quarter now.
right.
So it's due approximately a month before the new quarter. But I think, Chief, are you gonna talk about some of those safety tips? Because the sheriff's office has safety tips as well.
We were kind of like last month, we kind of talked about safety tips, like whether you leave your lights on, whether you leave your lights off or not. So I can talk about other safety tips, but,
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about just, they want you have to reinvent the wheel if you've already got
oh
one.
yeah, that's kind of the list that we kind of came to.
Right.
So,
And I
Pardon me?
think some of our backgrounds, we have some of that too, maybe in a safety professional and dealing with some of that, have some too. So I think we've done really good so far, putting stuff
AI
together.
comes up with great ideas too.
Do not depend on AI. I am old school and it,
March 8th was when you needed a bike. The only reason I say it, because I can try to have Griffin,
I'll give you the exact date, because I've got it here.
you had to have it December 8th or something like that, right? Yeah, sounds about right.
I had Debbie actually put it on our calendars, so let's see here.
So April, May, June, we can start thinking of topics for the April, May, June, starting into summer, starting into warmer weather, stuff to think about.
Yeah, I think we already discussed like the shredding, and we could also just
Right.
throw
is
our
May.
shred event in the same.
Do we have that calendared? We do, don't we?
Yes.
May.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but usually at our events, we are, well, in half of our regular events, we're plugging ourselves in terms of, you know, apply for the committees. We've got a little trifold that has the QR code so people can scan and go directly to the volunteer applications. The only places that we show up to where we don't really plug that are the shreds. It's a little difficult to, just because we're, you know, directing traffic and getting people through, but maybe we should consider
Okay.
figuring out how to do a little more advertisement during the shred event. Maybe not necessarily in the May one, but in the October.
October one, yeah, I would think the May one's too early, but October's we can put that in the back of our minds.
Yeah.
Get through them. Okay,
So Deborah didn't put actually, she only put the 8th on there, but it's gonna be, so the newsletter goes out the first financial quarter of each year, every quarter, excuse me, financial quarter. So January, April, and July, and then October. And so it's gonna be due about the month before. Towards the beginning.
just tell it to March 1st.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
Probably for
Probably
our March
February
meeting, so
agenda.
February, yep.
yeah, absolutely. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, that's that for old business. For new business, We've got some minutes to sign.
And I was not at the meeting, so I felt like I should not review them because I was absent in Hawaii.
Rubbing in Hawaii.
Oh, come on, you were gone on one of yours and you showed us a picture a little more extravagant than,
I mean-
our hotel in Hawaii, okay?
It was a great shot.
That was a great shot.
Where was that?
Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, Puerto Vallarta.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have some good sunsets for sure.
And good tacos, oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
No rest stops on the interstate.
Wait, what's that?
No rest stops on the highway.
Oh,
Coast.
no.
Oh, I never thought about
Oh, no, there's not,
No rest stops on the highway, on the freeway.
no.
I guess it-
There are some
There's not really a whole
lookouts.
lot of space.
Yeah, but there's no rest. When I asked the locals about rest stops, they didn't even know what that was.
I don't know what it means. But we should ask if anybody had any
Yeah, does anybody have any,
corrections.
I'll
or-
motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second, all approved, all voting for? All
Aye.
various-
All in
All in
favor?
favor, thank you. And any
I
opposed?
should have done this.
We're trying to get more professional, I like it.
Well,
Trying. It's my early New Year's resolution. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sign this. With my chicken scratch.
you work for who and you have chicken scratch? Just kidding.
I type.
Type everything.
Everything. Or
That's why you have
text
to-
or whatever.
There you go.
Okay, we are finally to you, sir.
Thank you for
With
the
your-
conversation so far. It's been very helpful.
You're welcome. I do love my job. I enjoy talking about it, so. Thank you very much. I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about, I want to talk to you about a project I'm engaged in right now. Lots of projects, but this particular one is regarding our advisory committees. So we have a lot of advisory committees. It takes up a lot of staff time. I mean, but it also takes up your time too, and we appreciate your volunteer time, absolutely. But I finally brought to the council, gosh, was it at least a month or two ago? It was a couple months ago. We had a big work session talking about advisory committees, and the thought is, I think the advisory committees are great. The question is, are the advisory committees going in the direction that the council wants? And that's what we had. So I think in the past, the advisory committees have been doing great things, don't get me wrong, not like that. But the fact is like, are they going in an area that's really helpful to council? Because the whole point of the advisory committee is actually advise the council on policy mostly, and advise the council on, have that feel for like, kind of like having neighborhood associations who meet with the council to know what's going on. So one of the things that I would like to look at is something we're doing with the other advisory committees, is going back to the quarterly meetings for the full meeting, but you can also have small meetings that you can meet anytime and really focus. And I think one of the big things that I'd like to talk to you a little bit about tonight is kind of really looking at what does a public safety advisor really mean? And, you know, in my experience working the public safety advisory is where you would come and you would talk about things like you review the numbers from the chief of police. And you talk about, okay, we've got some areas that have some, you know, what can we do about these areas? What can we, is there something we can do? Is there something we can do from our side as a citizen? Is there something we can do partnering with our law enforcement, you know? And then we also have not just law enforcement, but also fire. You know, we've got the fire. I mean, technically, you're at the Public Safety Advisory Board. And that's a whole other situation working on our district. But I guess I'm looking, I mean, I think it's wonderful that you've done things like the shredded event, done different events, and you do but I'm really looking at how can we really advise the council? How can you provide information that council helps them understand what's going on in our community? So, I mean, that's something I'm looking at, and this is not something I've been able to dedicate a lot of time recently. I put some time into it before I met with the council, but right now I can't dive into it. So I'm really kind of asking you as a body, you know, advisory committee, what do we really want to convey to the council? What do we want the council to know? You know, and there's no secrets here. I will tell you that I am looking at, Sheriff's Office doing a great job. I am looking at a police department in the city, or maybe a police department with the 3 cities. Or 2 cities.
Hated the fact we lost our.
And don't get me wrong, Chief Hoggle, I want to tell you something too. Chief Hensworth is great too. He came in and he sat down, the very first question is like, what can we do to help? And so he was the one that actually came up with the ideas. I talked to him about a lot of stop signs. I mean, I literally sit like, I think my think our break room's right over here underneath, and I literally sit there every day and I watch people just blowing that stop sign over here. Every single day.
Every day.
I'm like one of the few people actually stop. I stop. I'm like, I always stop. But most people don't. And they just blow through it. And so he sat down, so what can we do? I said, can we do something? He said, absolutely. He's got a couple of things set up. They did some real work after on Black Friday, actually. And then they did some work, I think it was this Friday or this Saturday.
Past Friday.
So, and I didn't tell anybody, but I knew it was on my calendar, so I knew
Right.
it's gonna happen. But he's really working on what can we do to help out. And then because of the way it's structured, he has limited resources, but I appreciate you doing what you can. It's not like we can just send out, 3 officers 24/7. But so my question really is, what can we do? When not just you, but when other people said, hey, I mean, even Kevin and I sat down and we talked about this, like, we got these stop signs blowing through, and that's some of the feedback I gave our chief. I said, I absolutely agree with you. In fact, Kevin and we met in my office, I think, and I think it's right there where you can see the stop sign. I'm like, I totally agree with you. We need to do something that we can. And, we're not gonna put up, cameras right there. I know we don't have those resources.
Costs money to do that, that's.
Exactly, but being able to really think, I mean, maybe it takes, maybe PSAC is involved in like doing these twice a year community neighborhood meetings. I could come, we could go out, we could meet at Pelfrey Park, maybe. We could go out and meet in our community center, and we're gonna be doing that anyway for fire. We're gonna be going out and doing some discussions with the community that talked about our fire district, proposed fire district, so forth. But, like gather information from residents, what are you looking for? What are your concerns? What are your concerns with safety?
Stat man here
Yeah,
has been really good. We had a community event, and we asked questions. We asked the people that stopped by, what is your main concern? And we kind of listed out, he's done all this. We feel like that's been helpful to be able to take back and say, this is what our community's asking about and concerned about, and kind of give it to counselor to let her know. And I feel like I don't know how helpful it's been. I feel like it's been pretty helpful. I just feel like the participation is it's like the community gathering was over here on Market Street. And they put signs up everywhere, huh, Kevin?
Oh, yeah, we put.
Everywhere. Jenny walked around with signs up, Kevin, all around. Participation kind of was really limited,
It was pretty low.
but he had questions. He had started putting his board together with all the stats of what's going on in Fairview. And I thought that was more geared to being able to take this to the council and say, this is what we're seeing, this is what we're being told.
yeah.
And why we kind of tried to do another, cybersecurity meeting, because we got a really good turnout the first time. Didn't get as much tread this time, but I think that we didn't have the marketing that we had the first time. But it is what it is when sometimes it doesn't always work. I feel like that did helpful. We've been interested in this other stuff, we don't always like the fire district. We can only do so much, but listen to, I think part of it, to be perfectly honest, is like the neighborhood thing. We wanted to do that more, but then it was, who's gonna fund it? I mean, we just had ice cream social, we had ice cream. And so that's kind of, it's like, so are we gonna volunteer to fund this? Because I don't know that we can get the funding to do something like that. And it wasn't big, it was, you got tons of ice cream for a.
Hey, you mentioned it too.
And he laid a bunch of leftovers and handed them out, right? But I mean, some of that takes a little bit of give to get back, right? So.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm not necessarily suggesting that we have ice cream. I think that's really nice, but I'm thinking more of just the opportunity where we put it in the newsletter or something, hey, in July, we're gonna meet down at the community center. We'd like to come and hear your thoughts. We'd have the idea, and committee's there, and I'll be there, and chief or someone from our organization. The sheriff's office will be there, and we want to hear your input. I mean, and then, you could come up with a survey, and you could come up with a survey, and we could send it out to everybody to register on our website. I mean, there's several things we could do.
Right.
But, you know, and I really, what I'm suggesting, I appreciate the shred of it. I mean, that's really nice,
Well,
but,
that was the city's.
That's,
I remember it,
that's
that's the
directed from council.
oh, really?
Yes,
Wow.
That's council agenda.
that is,
Council wanted us at Fairview on the Green, and this has probably been at least 10 years of it. Because I know Russ and Steve used to always run the shred event. Russ Williams and Steve Marker for years, and maybe even back farther than 10 years, I can't remember for sure. The rest of us participated too, but they were the guys who were always there. The level of participation that used to go on Public Safety Committee was incredible. They had the, I can't remember what it's called, the little four-wheel drive unit that
ATV.
went out. There was a group that always rode in it, and they were certified as community, I don't know what they were, community liaison people, whatever. And they kept track of everything. It was phenomenal when I first came on the committee, things they were doing. The public safety seminars that went on were incredible. Like, for example, you can have a shortwave radio. It'll work in the event of disaster when your cell phone won't work. And that they're not as expensive as people think, a couple $100, and instructions on how to get your license. There were incredible things going on in terms of community education. They were out in the community. Deborah Aronson spent forever trying to get Neighborhood Watch going.
Yeah.
And if she couldn't do it, I don't think anybody will ever get Neighborhood Watch. But over the years, there have just been different themes that have occurred. The most recent ones seem to have involved things that were more valuable to individuals, like cybersecurity. Whereas the years of disaster preparedness, finally they told us, yeah, probably not a great idea to keep doing disaster preparedness at Fairview on the Green. It's kind of a downer. So you want to switch your focus to something else and make it more positive than constantly focusing on a disaster. People are kind of tired of hearing about that. So over the years, it has changed. We used to do a lot of meetings in the park and what the neighborhood felt as a concern. And so I think it can be whatever council wants it to be. I think the committee has been very good about following the direction that comes from council. And if you want input, Kyle's very, very good with statistics. I think there is always a survey that's done every year at Fairview on the Green. You have that data. There's actually a lot of input that's solicited. And then there's that going from neighbor to neighbor to neighbor. Now, sometimes council doesn't really want to hear what the neighbors think about things. Or maybe it's not council, maybe it's the committee. Doesn't really like what they're hearing, but it's still being said out there.
Yeah, that's what we need to hear. Well, I really appreciate that, Lena. I really appreciate the background, history on that. And that's exactly why, for the most part, I mean, I started with the council. I started talking to council. And what I hear from the council, they haven't made a final decision because we're going to have to actually revise our code. But the council wants to, you know, the committee is really focused on those core purposes. It is a time, I mean, I think to maybe, and I'm not want to put any words in your mouth, Brian, but you're talking about, hey, I'm still being here. I don't want to commit to 2 years. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to commit as a volunteer. I mean, you know, I'm not paid extra to be here, but I am paid to be here in a sense because of salary, right? But I mean, I'm still coming to, you know, right now I'm doing a fire meeting once a month. I'm doing 2 council meetings, and then every advisory meeting I attend, and possibly other meetings. I got a lot of night meetings, you know. I have a family too. It's a lot. And so I guess the thought is, you know, if we move, I'd like to move to a quarter where we meet like, and we could, the next one we could meet like in normal time, and I would come and we could talk about it, but really focusing. And I appreciate what you're saying, because that's exactly what we're going to get from council. I'm not going to have it on the agenda next month, but I'll have it in the agenda soon. And we'll meet with council and try to get that input, what they're looking for. you know, like cybersecurity it's really important, don't get me wrong. It's very important. In fact, I had our employees do their first cybersecurity training, they've probably done it forever, if ever. And so that's another thing where they didn't have an HR department, now we have an HR department, we're getting all the training and doing everything we should be doing. But, you know, that's more of an individual focus, and it's really, we want to really focus on the law enforcement, on the police, and on fire. It's, you know, trying to get those focuses. The focuses are great, it's just trying to, what I hear from council, correct me, you're on council, but what I heard is they want to focus on the things that are really kind of the top level, like get focused on those things. And
I don't know.
And
in the
sometimes
three-
when you live in the community and you're out and about and talk to a lot of people, council really doesn't want to hear what the number one concerns are, because they don't know what to do about it any more than anybody else does. Homelessness and general theft. Can't leave your bicycle on the front porch, kid's bicycle on the front porch. Those are the kinds of things I hear constantly. Nobody really wants to hear it because nobody knows what to do about it.
well, you know, that's a really, I appreciate you bringing it up, because I can tell you a couple of things. Number one, I want to hear it. And it is actually my job, as you know, my job in the charters, and one of my main jobs is to enforce laws. That's my main job. And so, and if there is a law that should not, and, you know, council doesn't want to enforce, they have to change the law. I mean, it's just simple as that. They have to change it if they don't want to do it, because I have to do it. I mean, I'm bound by it. I'm only bound by so many employees. I mean, can only do so much at a time. But, you know, and also, I really appreciate you saying that. That makes a lot of sense. And there probably are a lot of times in the past where people didn't know what to do with information. And that's why a big part of my focus is figuring out those processes, what to do with the information, so we know what to do. So when I go to council and I give them a recommendation, say the public safety advisory says, hey, you know, we are really concerned about crime in X part of Fairview. Like, okay, what are those? And we pull up these data, these numbers and concerns of residents, you know. And what I'm going to do is the council's going to look at me and say, you know, city manager, what are you doing? I said, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to meet with the chief. We're going to talk about this. And we're going to see what our sheriff's office can do. We're going to, you know, do promotional material. We'll send information if we need to in our newsletter. But most importantly, we'll have the sheriff's office out there, and we'll try to patrol, and we'll try to, and the public safety advisory can even come up with ideas, you know, hey, we want to work on neighborhood watch. And I understand neighborhood watch has evolved into different things. And, you know, there's a program I was working on, putting in Tillamook, you know, and I'm not saying I'm just using that because of my most recent experience.
Sure.
And it's a different world. I understand that. A lot of people have cameras and things, but there are things we can do. There's things we can work on. There's things we can put in place. And I really appreciate your comment, because there very well may be, but my job, I work for the council as a whole, and I have to make sure that I'm providing the information and I'm providing a method to get things done as much as possible, so.
I've only been on here for 3 years, but from my perspective, there doesn't, outside of what you said about do the shred, show up to the Fairview on the Green, I think in the 3 years that I've been on, I've heard one directive from the council, and that was this past summer, please ask people about the fire, how they feel about brush fire. Other than that, I don't think I've heard any.
Well, give us
received
have a
anything
shred
from-
event, have 2 shred events.
Besides, yeah.
No.
Fairview on the Green, and then you're free to do other types of activities.
But that's where we got lost. I think that's where we
Jenny's
lost people.
administration, so to speak. We were over at I can't think what you call it.
At the Fork, yeah.
Yes, at the food court, Sunday mornings, doing, for example, and it was an excellent presentation, because she got residents from up at OHSU to come in and do skin checks on
Skin
people.
cancer.
And the dangers of sunburn, and then there was water safety with the free life vests that,
AMR. Yeah.
AMR donated. And anyway, there have been different focuses, and different people have different energies, and they bring different energies to it. There is a positive with that. I think the police and fire are very good subjects, but I think that for the average resident, it's all about me. It's not about what the city's exact problem is with all of this. It's my bicycle that got stolen.
Right.
It's my car that was broken into. And I have to say that as opposed to about 5 years ago, I don't hear as many cars being broken into. I don't hear as many complaints about
The
them.
numbers are really down.
My assumption is, I don't know why, but as you hear about more and more of these incidents happening, right? How many times have you left your purse on your passenger seat when you left to go in to watch a movie?
I gotta tell you, I never do that. I am
Why not? Because you hear about all.
I am
these
just
car
one of those
wrecks, right?
people
Yeah.
that
So,
first stays
yeah, I
with
mean,
me, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's part of the process of keeping your bicycle from getting stolen. Now, I get it, you can't tell a 6-year-old, don't leave your bike out in the driveway while you're running and start playing video games. I get that, but I think a lot of us have got a level of awareness to like, don't make myself an easy victim.
An easy
And that
target.
doesn't leave my backpack in the passenger seat. I mean,
Exactly.
and to go back a little bit about, like we were saying, like about the theft and stuff. So in the last 8 months, the most online reports that we have had has been 8. 5 in November. And of the 5 online reports that have been submitted in November, they're all for theft. 1 was shoplifting, 1 was from a vehicle, 1 was from a building, and 2 are listed as others. So the online reporting that we are getting from the 11,000-ish residents of Fairview, we've got 5. So,
And this is something that I've called out not only in these settings, but also at work, disaggregating by business versus resident.
Correct.
Like Target and Fred Meyer and that complex, like having those separate.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're talking about very different public safety conversations.
for sure, and these are online submissions, so
Yeah.
Target wouldn't be submitting that, but I mean, like, we have this tool. You go back to December of '24, and we had 34. So just, or I guess in November 20, this year, we had 5. So that could mean 2 things. Either people just aren't reporting it anymore. I'll be honest. I've been a victim of stuff up in my home and I don't report it. Why? Because I know that probably nothing's going to get done with it. I don't want to waste that resource, kind of stuff. Or crime is actually down and people aren't getting stuff stolen as much. And that's why the last 8 months, we're seeing very minimal amount of online reportings. Don't know which that is.
Right,
you know.
and that's hard to even get that data to
Yeah.
figure it out.
There's so many outliers on why that could be, but I mean, 5 is a great number. I'd love to say that.
To your point about the council though, and what to do with the committee, I mean, it's been my perspective over the last 3 years that we haven't received a ton of direction from the council.
Right.
But
Same
that
thing.
everybody at the table really wants to do something.
Yes.
A bunch of very dedicated, very largely energetic folks who come to this table.
That's awesome.
And it's great. And I think that part of the reason why we had such turnover at the beginning of this year was because there was frustration and pushback from what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And my reading between the lines, and I could be completely wrong about this, is that there's a little bit of trepidation about us being perceived as, representatives of the city of Fairview doing things that perhaps council doesn't want us to do or the city doesn't want us to do, which I can understand. But I think as a result of that, I perceive we're kind of, just
Floundering.
going in circles. And so what we've defaulted to is, well, maybe we can spread awareness, spread education, the events that Jen did in the past, the cyber events, getting crime stats out in front of people. And it's like, well, we can't provide any service. And we're always happy to listen and collect information. But at some point, at least in my other experience, people stop talking when you just like, so what now? What's your thing now? And what are you concerned about now? And if we don't put up anything, then they'll eventually like,
Or they don't.
well, I told you
The
about this.
education aspect of it.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, I appreciate it, and I absolutely agree with you. You have a lot of energy, and that's fantastic. And I absolutely agree. I think, like Lena's point, and your point, we gotta marry the council with what you're doing and trying to make those, and that's really important to me, and that's exactly right. I mean, it's the same thing. I'm gonna talk on Wednesday at the council about doing a council retreat sometime in January, and the whole purpose of that retreat is gonna be, it's open meeting, of course, anybody can come and observe, you can't talk, you can observe, but it's to talk about our general fund. It's to talk about the things that we're doing, the processes and the work that we're doing internally. It's to talk about council's goals. One of those goals may be actually, it's already a goal. It's not like a publicized goal, but it's a goal to be working on the committees and trying to figure out what we want. We've already had a good discussion. Trying to marry those things together is really important. happens. I really appreciate your energy. I'm just saying and this is why I'm talking to council, because I like to make processes. I'm a process person. And if I can get council giving direction on what you need, and you're giving that feedback that council needs, and I'm here in the middle trying to help facilitate that, then we get to a point where we can go to a higher level because we're getting the information, they're getting the information they need, and you're able to do the work that you'd like to do that fits with what they need. So then it's a better community. I mean, my wife and I when we first moved here, we lived in Northbrook Apartments. In early spring, you know what happened to us? And we don't keep anything in our car, you know, it's very clean. But our car got broken into. My wife's car the window got busted out and someone crawled in the front and busted up the whole ignition, trying to steal it. Unfortunately, they didn't steal it. But, you know, now I have a steering lock on both of our cars, even though my car is a very old car. I still stick a steering lock on there because I'm like, I don't want that to ever happen again. So I live firsthand experience right there in Halsey back in, I think it's either March or April, got busted in. I had a lot of issues. So we ended up leaving, ended up moving to a house, which we just bought, which we're excited. We live here in Fairview, not far from Lena. But we're really excited and we live there and we love it. But it is a lot of things. And so I think trying to get that structure in place is what's really important. And I appreciate your support on that, so.
Especially speaking to the meeting frequency, if we don't have any structure and you tell us, or well, whoever tells us, right, that we're only meeting quarterly, I don't see us being very effective. But if we have more specific structure, expectations of what the city and the council would like us to do, then we can prioritize and do better, you know, time management planning and still be relatively effective quarterly.
Well, I appreciate
I have
it.
a feeling you lose a lot of momentum by quarterly. That's certainly been my experience on many other committees over the years with different organizations. Monthly meetings keeps the flow going and accountability. Well, you said you'd do that last month. And you really don't want to go to the meeting not having done whatever it is that you were supposed to do. There's an accountability to it. You lose the momentum on quarterly. But if that's what council wants, then we'll struggle along, do it the best we can.
Well, I think I appreciate that. And maybe what we could do, if it's okay with everyone, maybe even if it were quarterly, we're gonna have to start in January, right? So
Right.
maybe we could have our next meeting in January and I'll come back and we'll have further discussion about that. I think one of the things that we're envisioning, like, for example, the Parks Advisory Board, which we're gonna change to be Parks because we already have a recreation. Now that I have a recreation department and a Parks department, we have a recreation and they have their own board. So we don't need two boards for recreation. But a park advisory board. And the idea of a parks advisory board, the main things for parks advisory board is to, you know, review projects and give feedback and input. And the other one is to make suggestions on the projects. But again, those only can be done within our budget. I mean, it'd be wonderful. We get 100 suggestions. That's great. I mean, I have a ton of things I want to do with our parks. We don't have parking spaces in our parks. We don't have a splash pad. We don't have, except for one basketball hoop and some playgrounds, we have no active parks. There's no pickleball, there's no volleyball, there's no anything. And there's so many things we want to do, but we don't have a lot of funding, but we'll do a little bit of time. But really clearly defining that. And I think once we get to that point, if quarterly is something that's like, okay, we got 3 months, we're gonna break off and have little things of discussion, great. If it's like, hey, we really feel like we need to meet more frequently, we can do that too. But I was trying to, I'm suggesting we step back just a little bit to allow me time to work with the council to really come together on what they're looking for. So now we can work with each committee to really say, hey, this is what the council is wanting now. And this is, you know, let's talk about how we can make that work together. So
would you like us to hold back on 2026 planning?
I would, if you'd be willing, like to talk about it more at the next meeting if we could.
Well, and we have our shred that we have to, I mean, that's a future thing that we'll have to start looking at. And we want to talk about the tips. You know, in February, you'll need the tips for safety. So some things we've committed to the council wants or the, you know, city wants. I have to be really honest here, and I know that a couple of these people weren't on the committee, but I know Lena was. The council came to us and asked us to look at, I've got to say this right, when they wanted to either have they wanted to know our opinion on having a safe, it was 5 years ago.
Safe routes to school?
Oh,
Roundabout?
No, it was about having a city, oh crap. Now I opened my foot and inserted my mouth. They wanted us to research the,
Through your mouth.
oh yeah, yeah, it's Monday and I've had a really long day. When they wanted us to get back to them on balancing either having a,
Oh, is this over the outside security forces coming in and patrolling?
I think so, and then
Oh,
they
and
want.
like cameras up around?
Well, no.
Like a
it was
private-
whether we
private
would-
security in the area?
whether the city would be well advised to hire similarly to the way that the city of Portland, I think it's the Business Alliance, hired a private security company to patrol streets. They were not allowed to carry guns, they were not allowed to do anything, but they could report to the police department.
There were two options, that was one of them. And we spent a lot of time and a lot of energy looking at both sides. We did some research and all this. We went back to the city and gave them our input, and they basically went, we're not doing anything. Because I remember afterwards, we're like, well, why did we just spend all that time? Because they didn't follow through with anything. It just dumped. And I don't remember if it was budget. It was kind of like it was a budget. Why did you ask us to even look at it? Because both things had a little bit of a budget, right? Both things were gonna cost money.
Well, that was whether you increase the police, this is the way I remember it, the number of police officers that were assigned to Fairview, pay for an extra officer.
Right.
Half-time officer versus hiring this private security force to come in and then report. I think there was a lot of concern over the liability for having a private contractor doing this. I don't think it's been a huge problem in Portland from what I've heard.
Right.
But I do understand there was a lot of concern.
Right. But at the same time, and I understood that, but the other part of it was they didn't do neither, it just kind of died in.
The point was that there was no real interaction back to the council.
Well, it just seemed like there was no feasibility to do it either way, so why did we get tasked with going through? Because we spent some good time on that, good discussions,
Probably had 3 months on it.
went back, and then it all just kind
And
of
special-
died on, yes, and then it died on the table, and you're like, well, we just did what the council asked us to, and it,
But I think they did get the recommendation that they were asking for. I think the concern was really on taking on liability for having non-police officers patrolling the streets, and what happened to those people if they were injured, and what happened if they injured someone else.
but we also looked at that too, being a private contractor, there were things we went back and said, but as a private contractor, they would be responsible for X, Y, and Z.
Right, and they'd have to carry insurance.
Anyway, I'm just kind of saying that we had a really specific task and we put our heart and soul into it. We spent 3 months on it and then it went away. We took the recommendation and so we felt a little frustrated, I thought.
Just to quickly interject, and I'm
I'm sorry,
trying to kill
7:30. No, I'm-
conversation, I just want to make sure we time check everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just kind of wanted to at least give him an idea of something that we were specifically asked to do that kind of went,
Sorry. Do you recall was that a directive from council or was that an individual counselor?
That's what I was
Just
saying.
no,
Actually, I think the original motivation, the person with the original idea and motivation was probably Brian Cooper, who was mayor at the time, I think. It's the way I remember it. And then it became a council request for the committee to look at it. And there were outside meetings with the community too.
right.
It was a very well-considered issue.
so I was kind of throwing out a frustration as something we,
Well, I think that Portland had a reasonably good experience with this.
Right.
And I think it was Portland Business Alliance that actually funded it.
anyway.
Well, I do hear you, and that was actually my questions, if it was an individual counselor, but it sounds like it was a council went to it. But that's where my job as a manager is supposed to help facilitate those things. And so if a council directs me and says, hey, Nathan, we want you to go to the public safety committee, we want this to happen, then I'm going to make sure it goes back to the council and make sure they follow. I'm going to ask them questions like, okay, this is what you want done. Why do you want it done? What's your timeline? What are your expectations? And we're going to have to go over all those things, because to just give somebody an assignment without really thinking through what that's going to entail. I mean, if you start from the beginning, we know that if they say, hey, we want a private security force, my first question is going to be, okay, why? Are you not feeling you have to service the sheriff's office?
Right.
The other question is like, do you believe you have money for this? I mean, one thing, it'd be nice to have there's an organization approached us as having people patrolling our parks, because that's something that's difficult for the sheriff's office to be patrolling our parks all the time. But, so I absolutely agree with you. It sounds like I appreciate your expressing your frustrations. I will stop because there's a time check, but I would like to come next time and talk. And I really want to help bring this committee to really sync with what the council's looking at. And the council's not 100% certain what they want. These are new conversations, and these things were put in place before most people on council are even on council.
Right.
So I'm trying to get what I'm making a recommendation to the council. Ultimately, the council decides what they want.
Right.
They set that, and then I work to do that. So,
If it helps with your conversation with council, I think that most of us would probably agree that a big benefit to having this committee is sharing that education with people.
Yeah.
We definitely all understand that city budget is, in the grand scheme of things, the county can't solve everything with its $8 billion budget, and the city of Portland can't do everything with its budget, and the state of Oregon can't do everything with its budget, and most we can do is share information with people so they can act within their own parameters and their own agency. I think we all get some level of enjoyment of, sharing information out with people, and we learn things ourselves too.
For sure.
And pardon my ignorance, and not to say create another committee, but would there be an opportunity for a community events or community engagement committee where the events are held by them and they kind of do that kind of stuff? Because I feel, and I could be wrong, but I'm thinking public safety advisory committee, we as a committee should be looking into the fire department thing, right? So we should be coming up with ideas on how we can survey, query the community on what their wishes are, get that data, survey, data guy, whatever, and then meet with the city council and say, this is what the people want. Advisory committee, whereas the community events and holding these events, they're great, they're fun to do, they're neat to do, they get you a part of the community, but is that something separate than what PSAC is? I don't know, because PSAC or public safety is such a wide umbrella.
Yes, it is.
I mean, everything can fall into that.
Be a subcommittee, but again, I think it's something that we can have in our 2026 planning session at our next meeting.
So, a thought.
I hear what you're saying. We have a recreation department now that does events.
Okay.
And so we no longer, we're doing away with what you used to call the community engagement committee, but we're transforming it to a.
Is there actually one called the community engagement?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I thought I was one of those, this is a good idea.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
I can.
Came and gone.
I can share a little background later, but in kind of in a nutshell, that committee is being transferred to a volunteer where people can help work with our recreation department.
Gotcha.
On things. So, but no, I hear your point. It's really good.
So we can resume this conversation then in our January meeting, which will kind of tie in with new business item 6D. So we can table that until then. We already discussed item 6C, the PSAC vacancies, right? Which kind of gets us to the end of our agenda with just one quick shout out I want to give is in regards to the Sheriff's Office CBAC, the Community Budget Advisory Committee. They're accepting applications till the end of the month. Yep. 26th.
Applications for.
Sheriff's office.
Yeah, it's the community advisory committee for the county budget, right? So you have an opportunity to sit on with Multnomah County budget and how the monies are spent, and I'm super familiar with it, I've seen it. And just basically have your voice heard as far as how the money is spent, where the money goes and stuff like that.
The CBACs actually do provide a pretty good, it's great because whenever the county does their song and dance in front of the commission for the budget, having citizens come in and speak to, we think as citizens who are not related to this, I mean, kind of like our committee here, right? We have citizens that are not employees of the sheriff's office or the DA's office or whatever. We think these are important and we ask the commission to fund these things or maybe don't pay attention to these things. So having a diverse group of voices, particularly with the sheriff's office being kind of spread out throughout the whole county, it's a great opportunity.
We have a lot of different things that we have budgeted in our budget, but then we have one-time budgeting. So we have to go to the county commissioners and say, hey, we want money for this again. We want money for this again. You know, and budget cuts are coming up again. They were really bad last year. Luckily, our agencies kind of got a slid under the radar, so to speak. I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not this year. We're looking at a massive budget cut. So that CBAC community members are the ones that go up there and say, please don't cut this program. We need it. We want it. This is what it does, blah, 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 kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. So if you know anybody who lives on the east side, they're looking for, to the end of the month, I think, 26th.
After I
Are you allowed to be on it?
No. I can't go. That'd be funny, but no.
That would be funny, but.
Okay, any other items before we adjourn?
the thing I would just say is the next meeting is currently scheduled for January 19th.
Awesome.
What is the 19th? Why does that night?
Oh, is it a holiday?
No, that's earlier in the month.
Yeah, third Monday of,
That's Martin
This is what
Luther
happened
King.
last
Martin
year.
Luther King. That's why I'm saying something now, because last year we had this, that kind of everybody,
Very good point.
that we all kind of went,
oh, it
oh,
is, it's Martin Luther King Day.
yeah, we,
So we won't be.
the 19th, so we won't be here. See, that's why I asked. There was
Yeah.
something about that date besides my daughter's birthday.
Get moved in
I think February is President's Day. I think that happened last year too.
President's,
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, and February, so we need to either.
March
we-
9th,
Reschedule.
no, March.
No, no, we can't put it off that far. We need to do another day in January. Do you guys want to do it the Monday before or the last Monday of the month?
Is this available?
And is it, we need to ask if it's available. We have to have the meeting in January because we have to start looking at planning. So
For the
we,
23rd.
right, so we have to ask if the room is available. And I think that's what we tasked you with checking with Devery.
The 9th or the 23rd, you mean?
Of February, but I think,
So that's January.
That was in February, I apologize, yep.
You're talking about the 12th?
And we have to do the same thing in February.
I don't see any meetings either one of those nights, so probably either one will work. I would probably suggest the 26th.
Is everybody okay with the
January
26th?
26th?
Yeah, the 12th, we've got the auditors coming, we just got
Oh, yeah, okay. And then February, we have,
No. We're 4 years behind when I got here.
I know that. Oh, I know.
Oh, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and I know that's the tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg was,
And what do we have February?
I would think we should just do the same thing and do the last Monday instead, so do the 23rd.
Yeah, because that's 4 weeks, right? So what would that be?
23rd,
23rd? Okay,
If we meet in February.
yeah.
We'll figure that out in January.
okay. Well, I feel like this transition and this thought is gonna take some time, so
Yeah.
I don't know that we're gonna want to.
Your calendar's scarier than mine.
Feedback is very helpful too. It's nice to hear that because we don't know any better. There could be one committee that maybe they're burnt out and they want to meet less. Maybe they don't have enough to do to meet every month. And we wouldn't know unless they told us. So for you guys to say, you know, we're active, we need to meet every month, you know, we can do that. We just need to know that.
Well, I mean,
Well, we have a liaison here.
Of all the committees in the city of Fairview, I'm not including Budget Committee and Planning. They're different. They deal with money, they vote on things, we're advisory. Of all the advisory committees, in my opinion, this is the one that affects everybody's everyday life. Certain people utilize parks, certain people go to events for community engagement, certain people use recreation, but everybody is involved in public safety,
Yeah,
or it touches their life.
for sure. Yeah, it was pretty awful when my wife's car got busted in.
I had my catalytic converter the first month I moved here.
oh, when that was a big thing, huh?
That's awful.
Yeah, they are. And if they cut it, if they mess it up, if they take it off the wrong way, it's even spendier.
Yeah, it was
If they cut the crud out of it, you're gonna be paying for all kinds of stuff to put.
between Allstate and me, we spent a lot of money fixing that car.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
Well, I hate to end the meeting on a
I
bad
make
note
a
again.
I know, dang.
Better.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting at 7, is it 38? Anybody gonna second?
I'll second.
There you go.
Okay, all in favor, no opposed? We are so adjourned.
All right, thank you.